on last night's episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, I could not help but feel like there's a lot of sadness going on with Shamea, like not only with like, the stress of her daughter's health issues or anything like that, but I kind of low key feel like there are some cracks in her marriage. Like I feel like the way that she talks about her marriage, but versus the way she looks when she talks about her marriage, they paint two very different pictures for me. So as you can see in this picture, she had just finished crying. Here she was taking a FaceTime call. So basically, to me, kind of looks and feels like she is exhausted with two kids already, especially with one being special needs. But she keeps on saying it like, not using these exact words, but basically it sounds like Shamea feels obligated to have a third child, especially a boy for her husband. And I don't know, that makes me feel very, very sad for her. To me, it doesn't seem like it's something that she personally wants to do. She's never really said that we're hoping for this. I want this. It's always my husband is so nice to me and he wants to have a boy. And so I really want to give him that because he's so nice, like that sort of a thing. And then, again, when you look in her eyes, when she's saying these things, does this look like a happy person to you? To me, it doesn't. Right. And so I think that she has some sort of fertility trauma because unfortunately, she suffered a lot of miscarriages, right? After having her first daughter. And so she had to turn to a surrogate to have her second daughter. And, that came with a lot of issues as well. So the surrogate, unfortunately, she had breast cancer while she was carrying their daughter, Shiloh. And then unfortunately, Shiloh has quite a lot of health issues and whatnot. And I think that takes up a lot of Shamea's energy, her brain power, everything, right? And I kind of get the feeling that she would be happy with just the two. And it kind of feels like she wants to carry a third one through her body, but then she's already had so many miscarriages that it doesn't really feel like something that she actually genuinely wants to do, but maybe she also kind of doesn't really want to turn to the surrogate. And it's, not the fault of the surrogate or anything like that. But, when she turned to a surrogate for having her second daughter, there were a lot of complications there and whatnot. It really kind of feels like something that she would prefer not to do, but is almost feeling like she has to do because her husband, he pays all the bills. And unfortunately that happens sometimes, right? When there's one person paying all the bills, you kind of almost feel obligated to do things. Whereas if you were, earning 50% or 60 or 40 or whatever, right? FU money, you would be able to push back a little bit more. Like there's something about it that kind of makes me sad for her. Kahara says, Shamea is such a good housewife. She's trying so hard to give her husband a boy, and I don't think she really wants to do that. Exactly. And it makes me so sad for her. Her eyes are betraying her every time she talks about how happy she is in her marriage. And, and I hate that. I don't want to see her divorced or anything. I really hope that that's something that turns around for her. But so far, I don't know. Malen says, hang on, Shamea. Otherwise, Porsha will take him for you. And listen, Porsha is not above doing that. She is the queen of Thoughtland for a reason. We already saw her do what she did with Fallon's husband on the show and everything like that. Yeah, technically people, they were going to break up anyway. They were not in a happy marriage. Fallon was out there screwing her assistant and whatnot. But, just something about that energy was so ugly. Porsha did not know about that when she was reaching out to Simon. So you were working with this girl, like this is the one that you had the relationship with and whatnot. And so when you hear that she's going through a separation, apparently you go and reach out to her husband and not her. Very weird, pick me, like just grimy energy on her part, right? East Awesome says, Real Housewives of Atlanta is so damn good this season. And I agree. It hit all the chords. Shamea needs EMDR to resolve all her trauma, the talk therapy to increase her sense of self. God is giving her the sign to stop having kids. And yeah, I really hope that she finds something that picks her back up. And then we even see her like in the Sprinter van, and I got a picture of it. Like, they were getting ready to do their activities for the day and whatnot. Like half of the girls were going to do a whiskey tasting. The other girls were going to like mix up some drinks at the bar and whatnot. And then she kind of brings down the mood in the car and everything. And again, it's not her fault or anything. She receives this text message and it's about how, and this was quite the throwback because I completely even forgot about, this happening that season. And I think this is when Kenya was dealing with Matt, who had his own, psychological issues and whatnot. So she had put together a PSA against DV and she reached out to the girls who had been touched by it. And so Shamea gave her testimony of what went down in her first marriage. And then Cynthia's mother gave her testimony. So going back and seeing that footage really was, wow, like a blast from the past, because I had completely forgotten about all of this. And so it feels like she's already in a place that's really sad and really dark for her. And then this brought up all those emotions again, and just so much sadness surrounding Shamea this episode. But she really has been so open and vulnerable about her journey as a housewife this season so far. And I got to be honest with you guys, I think she is carrying the season. And like, I've been really disappointed in Porsha's performance so far, especially this episode, right? So she's upset that Drew is there. She didn't personally invite Drew, Angela Oakley did. And so Porsha, when she finds out that Drew is coming, like, you know, because at first it didn't look like Drew was actually really going to come. It looked like she was going to cancel. And so when she sees that she's there, and then, you know, all of a sudden, conveniently, someone randomly messages her telling her that Drew and Dennis had filmed a scene or whatever, she comes down and she doesn't dress up with the rest of the girls. She's just staring at them, all gloomy, all dressed in black, just playing the silent treatment. Like, I feel like a housewife like a Kenya or a Nene or like a Titan and Powerhouse would have turned that into an incredible storyline. But Porsha completely floundered. She was just there and she was dragging down the entire scene. This was her birthday episode. Like, she should have been a bigger star than she actually was. And, you know, I found that to be just so disappointing, especially for somebody who was disrespecting her own baby daddy on camera, bringing him around to flaunt her married fiance and whatnot, right? And then she was trying to beat up her baby daddy on camera, trying to beat up his elderly mother. And you're mad because he's filming about, you know, some beats, you know, with Drew. Like, come on, girl. I think that if she were still with Simon, she would have been flaunting that heavy and she wouldn't have cared about the storyline at all. And so it falls flat for me. It feels very, very forced because Porsha doesn't really have much going on. You know, she doesn't have a home to film in, right? Because Simon would shut all that down. She doesn't have a new relationship. She's not really up to much of anything. So this is all she has. And I find it to be very, very sad, you know, for somebody who's so beloved by the network to bring so little. Shamea is crushing her this season. She truly is. Theo, hey boo. Theo said, how's the move going, by the way? Porsha's storyline has been cut off at the heel because of Simon not allowing her to film solo scenes. Exactly. I feel like she's getting an incomplete edit like Kenya this season. And this is why they had to go back and bring Phaedra, right? This is the thing about Bravo. They fire people just to rehire them. They are so damn performative, right? And they had to bring her back because Porsha was just not doing it. She was supposed to be a heavyweight and everything. Like, she's solidified herself, not as an OG, but someone like who is integral to Housewives of Atlanta. But no, it's just not happening. It really, really isn't. He's awesome. Says Shamea could also adopt. Would the husband be okay with that? If he loves kids so much, an adoption should be fine. No. Well, here's the thing. I kind of feel like the husband is a little bit more so on the whole, like, you know, the child has to look like me. The child has to be, you know how that mentality goes, right? I think that that's the mentality that he has. Because to me, somebody who is kind of ignoring the fertility trauma that his wife is very clearly exhibiting, you know, for the sake of having an heir, does that sound like the type of person that would be open to adoption to you? Because to me, it doesn't really. It sounds like a very kind of like, you know, egoist sort of person. Ashley says, after I had my miscarriage with my third baby, I can't even imagine getting pregnant again. It's too scary. I'm so sorry to hear about that, Ashley. And I do not blame you at all. Like, that just sounds absolutely gut wrenching. And, you know, the fear of getting your hopes up, you know, just for them to come crashing down and everything. Like, it feels like too much. And I get the feeling that that's what Shamea is going through and that she is too scared to voice that to her husband. So I'm kind of wondering, like, is he really as nice to you as you're claiming? Because something's off to me. Theo says, greetings from Thoughtlandia. And you know what? That's the thing about Porsha. I still can't believe she declared herself that. It's the truest thing she's ever said, right? But I still can't believe she declared herself that. Kahara says, Gerald wants a boy. He, like most men, want a son to carry on their name. And I do think that that is something that, you know, it comes down to. Can I tell you guys something? Speaking about men and their legacies and boys, you know, I was on this thing on TikTok. Somebody was talking about like not wanting kids, blah, blah, right? And then this guy, he's in the comment section of her video. He's like, wow, like, I don't understand people who don't want to have kids. Like, there are so many things that I want to pass down to my kid, right? So you're thinking that this guy has like, you know, just these amazing things to pass down. You know what this man said he wanted to pass down to his kids? And, you know, it made me laugh so hard. I'm still laughing about it days later. He said, he's like, you know, I lived on a mountain for 10 years. I'm getting my real estate exam. Like, just things like that. I said, really? Like the fact that you lived on a mountain for 10 years, like how many years ago? That's what you're passing down to your child. You don't even have your real estate license or whatever, but you want to pass down the fact that you're potentially going to get it. Okay. Just the reasoning that people have sometimes are just too funny to me. Anyway, can I just say, shout out to the Beehive. Okay. Shout out to the Beehive, because today is the debut of the Cowboy Carter tour. So if y'all are going to be there for the kickoff concert, shout out to you. Mine is not until June 20th or 21st or something like that. I'm looking forward to it. And I got to say, these past 2 episodes of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, they have been serving Cowboy Carter concert inspo for me. Granted, this week's episode, they were a little too thoughty for me, especially whatever the heck Brittany was wearing to the wine tasting. She had her booty out and everything, right? But I've been loving seeing all these girls like have their take on like cowgirl, like couture and whatnot, right? I loved Shamea's dress here with her boots and everything. I love Brittany's kind of like, cow print outfit. I loved Angela with the lace. Like, I still do not have my Cowboy Carter outfit yet. And so just seeing all of this inspo everywhere has been really kind of like cool and exciting for me nonetheless. I don't know if y'all are going to, and if you're still kind of like, on the lookout for your own outfits and whatnot. But yeah, that was a really cool part of it for me. Where were we at, you guys? So like Porsha, she was very disappointing to me. She's not a good anchor for the show. I think she kind of needs to be a sidekick, and that's all it is. Now, speaking about these amazing like Cowboy Carter outfits and whatnot, there was a scene, and I obviously cannot put up the photos because YouTube will take this video down with the quickness, put it behind like an 18+ lock. But there was this scene right after all of Porsha's moping and everything, where all the girls kind of let bygones be bygones, with the exception of Angela. And they go jump in the pool, right? So like they're all in their bikinis. The amount of cement booties, the amount of like surgical lats and hips and what was really astounding to me. I think that like with the clothes on and everything, you're like, okay, maybe it's like a slight little tweak. You go, girl. But when they put the bikinis on and everything, and then they were trying to shake the butts, but the butts didn't shake. Oh my God. That was criminal. Jail. But listen, I love these girls nonetheless. And I thought it was nice to see them all kind of get together and whatnot at the end of the day after all of that drama that they had going on. There was something else that kind of stuck out to me. Do y'all remember when Porsha was in bed and Cynthia came to check in on her after her little fit, right? And so Porsha's just talking about like how she's upset about the Drew situation and whatnot. And then she tells Cynthia, you know what? Like these girls are cool, but your presence here is particularly special to me. And I want to thank you. You made my birthday by coming, like, again, these girls are cool, but there's nothing like home. And I was sitting there like, there's nothing like, is this not the girl that you straddle trying to beat down and, she had to kick your coochie to get you off of her? Like, and you met her on the show. Like, this is not your day one friend. Your day one friend is the girl that you've been low key shading all season. It's Shamea. So to me, I thought it was weird that she kind of was like grouped Shamea with the other girls that she barely knows and that just got cast for the show, right? Is it cast for the show or casted, right? And then she said there's no like home with Cynthia. Like Cynthia is like, her real friend. Y'all aren't real friends. What are you talking about? Listen, I think that she keeps on kind of like low key telling us how she really feels about Shamea. We already saw the crap that she and her mom were talking about Shamea for no reason, when all Shamea did was warn somebody, hey, listen, I am Porsha's friend. Do not come to me talking crap about Porsha. If you have an issue with Porsha, address it with Porsha, right? I don't know, y'all. She doesn't like that girl. Then when Shamea was trying to show off her singing and whatnot, she kept talking over all the singing and whatnot, trying to claim that it was Drew. That's Drew. That can't be you. That sounds good. Very interesting, you guys. Very, very interesting. And yes, Canadian mom, I definitely will be sharing all my photos, all my videos. You guys are going to be sick of me when Cowboy Carter comes around. You're going to be sick of me because I will be sharing so much freaking content. I've waited my whole life to go to a Beyonce concert, y'all. I've waited my whole life. Hey, Brianna, nice to see you. Listen, better late than never, boo. Better late than never. It looks like you guys were shocked about all the BBLs kind of like assaulting us during that jacuzzi pool scene. I was shocked. Again, they look fantastic, you know, when they're wearing like their dresses, when they're wearing their leggings and whatnot. Like, I thought that Porsha and maybe Britt Edie were the only ones with like BBLs, but I didn't know that like pretty much all of them had it. Like, that was crazy. Absolutely crazy. And yeah, I think you're right, Milan, about Shamea and maybe Cynthia, but there have been rumors about Cynthia. What do you guys think about Cynthia? Like, is her booty real or not? Like, because there have been rumors for a while, right? But yeah, I was quite shocked. Ladies, very beautiful ladies, but that was some very, very shocking stuff, right? And so, thank you, Theo. And I am so particular about grammar too. So I'm like, let me just ask my peeps. Past tense, yeah, cast for the show. So thank you. That's what I thought, right? Yeah, I thought it was very weird the way that she said that, right? And so Jasmine says that Porsha is fake. Mary Duda, Cynthia knew was BS. Yeah, and I agree, right? And Kahara says that Cynthia is sweet. And you know what? It made me miss Cynthia all the more, right? Because when Cynthia was on the show as a main, sometimes you go, oh God, like she doesn't bring enough drama, like, you know, what she got rid of Peter. Peter was like the guy that like, you know, made me interested in her because he was such a diva, right? But now seeing her here, like I kind of missed her presence. Like she really helps facilitate good conversations between Britt and Angela, then with Porsha, getting her to open up and whatnot. Like I really like that about her. And I would love to have her back actually a little bit more than that. I don't know about full time, but I want to see her more as a friend of. Frenemy energy, indeed. She's very, 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 very shady. East Austin said Porsha and her mom don't respect Shamea. Me neither. Like there was like kind of like weird, low key kind of like just venom in her mom's voice when she was talking about Shamea, which to me was crazy. Like, you're Porsha's mom. You're supposed to be telling her because you see everything, right? Like with your life experience, you've got more obviously than your child. And you see how hard Shamea has been riding for Porsha forever. She had her unbrushed tongue on Snapchat, talking proudly bragging about being Porsha's lapdog. Like, how do you turn around and claim that that lady is not loyal? Like, she made herself look foolish for your for your injured son and your hoe daughter. Like, what? Crazy. And not a slideshow. East Austin, how old do you think I am? A slideshow? I'll be making TikTok with the youth. What are you talking? Slideshow. Hey, Farah, nice to see you, Boo. Nice to see you. And you know what, Lakia? That's the thing about Cynthia that I like is that she can get along with everybody. She's kind of like water, right? She fits anywhere you put her. And I was really, really happy about that. Now, speaking of water, the ladies, they dumped their cement booties into the water. Thankfully, it wasn't, it didn't make them sink to the bottom. They managed to swim up to the top. And so they were all having a good time, just like they were wasted and whatnot. And Angela, apparently she was looking through the blinds or something like that, trying to see what was going on. She didn't want to join them because they had just torn her up at the table. She started bringing up the whole Porsha creeping around with married Simon and all sorts of things, and it was a lot, right? So she decided to stay away, which I think was smart. And apparently Porsha was really pissed about her bringing that back up on camera. And so she said to the other girls something to the effect of like, Angela better watch herself before I go ahead and F her husband, Charles. And we know one thing about Porsha, she's going to be effing somebody's husband, right? We saw how she got that Rolls Royce. We saw how old that man was, that grandpa was, who got her that Rolls Royce, allegedly. We saw her creeping around, getting engaged to Fallon's husband. So when she threatens to go bone your husband, she is gonna bone your husband, That was a crazy thing to say, especially when you have a reputation of being like a hoe, like low key, like a hoe. Like that's crazy to say that on camera. Absolutely insane. I think that is something that Porsha would make good on. And when I saw the preview for next week's episode and Angela told Charles, I said, oh God, Don't tell Charles. He probably got excited about that. Do not tell Charles, especially if he's a thought too, and he had a baby on you already, and he's untrustworthy. I personally would not have told him. And you know what? I actually have to go back and rewatch to see his reaction. Did he smile? Because one thing about these men will embarrass you, girl. And she knows, right? With the outside baby, she knows that these men will embarrass you. So that was crazy to me that she went and told them. I know it would come out eventually, but I don't know. I wouldn't have told them personally. East Awesome says Porsha has no exactly. And listen, integrity to me is one of the most important personality traits or whatever that you can have as a person. Like, it is qualities that you can have as a person. So that is just something that repels me so much from her. I cannot stand grimy people like this. She was not raised right. I questioned Miss Diane's parenting. She allowed Porsha to visit R. Kelly, be a video hoe. Porsha was one step away from being a Brit Edie. And she wasn't, yeah, right? She was. She just couldn't seal the deal. And it is true. I do wonder. I think that it's Miss Diane that made her into such a bird brain, right? That she is after money by any means necessary. Even now, as somebody with money, right? She's still doing all these crazy, dirty, grimy things, ruining her reputation, trying to climb to an even high or a branch that she perceives as being even higher than hers. And that's just ick, No integrity. Perfect way to describe her. Like he says, my coworker's daughter is best friends with Cynthia's daughter. I always want to ask questions. Ooh, Tia. How's Noelle doing? Where's Noelle living? Because I remember last time I heard of her, she had wanted to be a dentist. And then I think she's taking a break from school. So what is she doing now? Y'all remember her tongue was white as hell. And she just, oh my God, it was disgusting. Oh, yes, the youth slideshow. I'm still mad at you for that, East Awesome. Slideshow. I did bookmark some of you guys' comments. Jessica says that she's working from home watching, making her breakfast keto cheese toast. Yummy, yummy, yummy. That sounds good. Do you have jalapeno to put on that too? I saw this guy making a jalapeno bagel, and that's my favorite. Shout out to my Canadians. My favorite Tim Hortons bagel. It's always either the jalapeno bagel or the sun-dried tomato bagel, and I need to learn how to make these things. I heard you can make bagels with cottage cheese? No, Greek yogurt. I'm going to be trying to make Greek yogurt bagels as well. Acacia says, I'm working from home. Always have time to listen when I can. And I love that. Thank you so much for all of your day one support. Boss Lady's kind of in and out, tuning in live, but also being part of the playback posse. And we love to see it. Thank you. And it's nice to see you again. Mary Duda says, Angela Oakley really said we were on a break. Did she really? Oh my God. I want the tea. I want more info on what was happening with that break baby, because you know what it's giving? It's giving Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade. Listen, they worked through it. They're still together, but I don't know. Is it true? Or is it a convenient sort of cop out? I don't know. But listen, we'll have to wait until next week to see how all of that kind of unfolds. But again, Porsha, I'm just so stunned by you. You've been flopping this season. Shamea has been chewing you up and spitting you out. You would think that she was the heavyweight, the OG of the group. You were just not doing a good job of anchoring the show at all. You make a good sidekick and you've got a lot of charisma, but you cannot be the number one girl in this group, to borrow something from Jax, right? It's not working with her. And so I do see why they have to call in the reinforcements. And I'm still mad that they kept Britt over Kenya. Kenya would have slayed this season. And I would have been so excited to see what kind of outfit she wore to the birthday party. Listen, Miss Kenya, Barbie doll Moore, can you imagine what she would have worn over there to Tennessee? She would have just been eating these looks up. She is just absolutely fabulous, chic, beautiful, everything, right? Ronnie, y'all are making me hungry. What did I eat today? I actually can't remember. I have the memory of a goldfish, so I have to write down everything I do and eat so that I know that I did. Bree says, hey, Grace, I woke up so late. I'll be part of the playback posse today. Hey, Boo, nice to see you. Thanks so much for writing into us, and we'll catch you on the playback posse. I go back and I respond to the comments, so shout out to you and shout out to the rest of the playback posse as well. Mrs. H says, yummy, I love making sourdough. Oh, sourdough with some good cheese and wine is so good. I don't know how to make it yet, though, so I'm jealous of you. And you know what else I need to learn how to make? Focaccia bread. Ever since I saw it on Megan's Netflix show, I said, oh, and apparently it's easy. I got to learn how to make that. Listen, I just need a big kitchen. I need a nice dining table. And then it's game over for y'all. It's game over, I swear. And I need a garden, and I need acacia to help me understand how to grow my fruits and veggies in my garden. That's the dream right now. Ronnie says, I'm always working during the show except for Wednesday, which is my day off. Love to see it. And thank you too, Ronnie, for always being here. Venetia says, I love, yes, for me, cream cheese and bacon. Oh my God. You guys are making my stomach grumble. I kid you not. I do have to go to the grocery store. So you know what? Maybe I will get myself a nice bagel, cream cheese, and bacon for my nice little, it's 5 o'clock. So I wouldn't even call it a lunch, dinner. Bunny says, it's a cop-out. Charles and Angela broke up when she heard about the side chick's pregnancy. And I think that is the truth. I think she blamed it all on the Madison Square Garden thing. Because remember when her explanation for like them breaking up was like, oh, like, he was going through a hard time. He showed up at Madison Square Garden. He got kicked out. That's why you would like take a break from your marriage or whatever. Like, really? Huh? That never made any damn sense. I do not think that she is telling the truth about that. Ooh, Milan, yummy. Oh, that's good too. That is good too. Y'all are making me so hungry. I'm sorry, East Awesome. Me too. They're making me hungry too. Theo says, Brit should have been let go after the threat. Putting her up to make a bogus apology was a cheap way for production to justify keeping her. They really, 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 truly miscalculated everything. This would have been the season's already pretty good. Even though they got rid of Kenya, but it would have been elite with Kenya there too, and so just thinking about what could have been is so damn sad. And I have to try that too, Farrah. Oh my God, y'all are making me hungry. Listen, y'all, I've got one final story for you, and it is a Real Housewives of Atlanta story, and it's super duper quick, okay? Kelly from RHOA, do you know how she's been talking a little bit about her ex-husband, how he stole money from her and her business and whatnot. And she had to shut down one of her locations because he was allegedly misappropriating funds. She also accused him of being abusive. Well, he's clapping back with a cease and desist against her and Bravo, saying that she has to stop. There is a clause in their divorce that stops them from being able to disparage each other, and that she's in violation of that by making all of those allegations on Bravo. And he also says, and listen closely, remember, she accused him of ABUSC and of misappropriating funds from their business, right? He says that he categorically denies misappropriating funds from their business. What's that tell you guys? Listen, she didn't have a restraining order for nothing. She didn't have a restraining order for nothing. Just saying. Bunny says Kelly's husband took his share of the business when he left, and apparently he took some money out of the cash register too. Apparently, just saying. Hey, Chelsea, finally made it to a live again today because I'm off work and going to see you're going to Beyonce opening night. I'm so jealous. How exciting, Chelsea. How freaking exciting. What are you wearing? Oh my God. I hope you are all like decked out in theme and everything. Ramster says, speaking of food, tomorrow's greenhouse. Oh, you have a greenhouse too? Oh, you guys are just, oh my God, y'all are living the dream. And it's all growing like unbelievable. I heard that the greenhouse is the freaking secret to it all. The way that like it captures all of the light, the heat, the energy in it, and everything is just so absolutely incredible. Oh, jealous. He's awesome says Angela's outside baby was from her first husband. It's a big misunderstanding. Oh, okay. Started by Wendy Williams. Charles had a mental breakdown. He really did. That wasn't a lie, because here I thought it was a lie. Damn. Okay. Well, you know what? If that's the truth, then I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them. That means that, maybe Charles isn't a thought. Like maybe he wouldn't fall for the Princess of Thoughtland or something like that. But I still do hate that that Porsha put that out into the atmosphere. To say that about somebody's husband, especially when you've been known to sleep with people's husbands, is really grimy, is really, really ugly. It is. It is. To it all says Shamea has some big D energy. She is owning this season. She truly, truly is. And finally, Mary's Judah says, I think Angela chose her words very carefully when talking about the side baby, because she never denied Charles. Also, imagine having and both of them have a side baby on you. It would be over for me. It'd be game over for me. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of The Morning Report. Per usual, I had the greatest time talking with you. However, y'all have made me really hungry and I have to go to the grocery store. I think I'm going to get myself a bagel, cream cheese, and bacon, and have myself a nice like lunch dinner situation before I head off to karate class. Listen, y'all, have a great day. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for tomorrow's episode of The Morning Report. Take care, you guys. Bye.